The sun is barely a crack on the horizon when they are already in motion, moving low, fast and silent through the tall ochre grass of the ancient African savanna. Their bodies are small but incredibly agile, built for climbing and for short, explosive sprints. Calloused hands clutch sharp river stones, while leaves are folded into tiny pouches for collecting berries. Hardened animal hides serve as carriers for water. A young female leads the way, her nostrils flaring as she tastes the air. She can sense it, food, ripened figs, hidden somewhere among the scattered woodland trees. Behind her, 3 juveniles follow, perfectly mimicking her crouched posture. Every single movement is cautious. Every footfall is deliberate. This early in the day, predators own the open plains. The group halts. The leader raises her hand in a silent stop signal. A rustle. Something large is hidden in the grass. Watching, the tension coils like a drawn bowstring, until an entire antelope herd erupts from behind a cluster of trees, thundering right past them. The hominids flatten themselves against the earth as the frightened animals stampede all around. The leader uses the distraction. When the dust finally settles, she waves the group forward. Food is waiting, and on the savanna, hesitation means death. They finally reach the fig tree, a massive, ancient giant whose branches twist like muscles. The group moves quickly, climbing with a fluid, practiced confidence. Their fingers pluck the figs, testing each one with a gentle squeeze. Rotten ones are tossed aside. Ripe ones go into the leaf bundles, which are tied with thin strips of bark, but gathering is never truly safe. Their eyes constantly flick back toward the plains, scanning for danger. And then, it arrives. Silently, a massive male leopard emerges from the tall grass, drawn by the scent of overripe fruit and the small bodies moving among the branches. His belly is empty, his muscles ripple like shadows under his fur. The juveniles freeze in place. One of them drops a fig, which thuds softly on the ground to sound the leopard's ears track instantly. The predator coils its powerful limbs, preparing to launch itself into the tree. The leader reacts with pure, primal intuition. She cracks 2 stones together, sharp, piercing sound, mimicking the snap of a breaking bone. The leopard hesitates. It's only for a second, but it's enough. With a swift gesture, she orders the group upward. They scramble into the higher branches, just as the leopard lunges. Its claws rake the bark, splinters explode. A juvenile lets out a silent shriek of terror, scrambling away as the leopard's claws almost snatch its leg. They climb higher and higher, beyond the predator's reach. For several long minutes they cling to the tree, trembling, their hearts pounding like drums. The leopard snarls, circling below, but the figs higher up are plentiful, and eventually, the predator loses interest and slips away back into the grass. Only when the savanna falls quiet again does the group descend, shaken but alive. They move on, their leaf bundles heavy with fruit. The sky grows brighter, the heat rising. The savanna shifts from a cool gold to a shimmering white glare. Further ahead, the ground dips into a river valley, a place of mud, reeds, and precious life-giving water. The tribe approaches it carefully. Crocodiles lurk in the shallows, and giant storks jab their beaks at anything that moves. But the hominids are desperate for a drink. The leader kneels at a muddy patch, scooping water with a dried animal hide folded into a shallow pouch. The juveniles drink directly from the river, splashing their faces and chests. But today, the river is not the sanctuary they expected. The ground begins to tremble. It's not from a predator, but from another group. A rival band of hominids appears on the opposite bank. They are taller, older, scarred. Their faces hold no welcome. Their leader carries a large, cracked stone shaped into a primitive hand axe, a clear mark of dominance. They lock eyes across the water. The river gurgles between them, an indifferent witness. The leader of our group tenses. No words are exchanged. Prehistoric conflict speaks through posture, shoulders up, chests forward, teeth bared. The rival group mirrors them, a standoff. Then, the rival leader steps into the water, slowly, deliberately. The message is clear. This is their territory. Our leader reacts instantly. She gathers her group, gesturing sharply retreat. They back away into the reeds, hearts hammering. A direct encounter could mean injury, or worse. And an injured hominid rarely survives for long on the savanna. But their retreat leads them somewhere unexpected. One of the juveniles yelps a silent, mouth-opening alarm. He points. A fresh carcass lies ahead. A recently killed antelope. Flies swarm its open ribs. The kill is new, but the predator is nowhere in sight. The group hesitates. Meat is rare, precious. A few bites could fuel them for days. But scavenging comes with immense risk, especially if the killer is still nearby. The leader crouches low and inspects the carcass. The throat is torn open. The bite marks are large, deep, not a leopard, a lion. The lions are likely watching from the grass, waiting to regain their kill. Every instinct screams to flee, but the tribe is hungry. The figs aren't enough. The juveniles cling to their mother's leg, trembling with a mixture of fear and hope. The leader makes a decision as sharp as a stone blade. They approach, hands move quickly, pulling loose strips of soft flesh, using sharp stones to carve pieces free. The scent of blood fills the air. The tension is suffocating. Any second now, a low growl vibrates through the grass. The lions return. A lioness emerges first, her golden eyes fixed on the intruders. Behind her, two more lions move steadily toward the carcass, muscles rippling, tails flicking in agitation. The hominids freeze, clutching the few scraps they manage to cut free. The lioness charges. What follows is pure chaos. The leader slams her two stones together again, sharp, loud. She raises her arms high, puffing her body out to seem larger. The juveniles mimic her, stamping the ground. They screech, howl, and fling clumps of grass. Their display is primal, desperate. The lioness halts mid-charge, startled by the sudden explosion of noise and movement. It's just enough for the group to retreat, stumbling backward with their tiny cuts of meat. The lions reclaim the carcass, growling over it, breathing hard, adrenaline flooding their bodies. The tribe flees to the edge of the forest. The day is far from over. Clouds gather above, dark, heavy, and swollen with an impending storm. Lightning cracks far away, echoing like ancient drums. The wind picks up, bending the trees and scattering dust. The group finds temporary shelter beneath a shallow rock overhang. Rain bursts from the sky moments later, hammering the earth, turning dust to mud, carving runoff streams through the grassland. The leader uses the moment to tend to the juvenile who almost fell from the fig tree. His leg has a bleeding scratch. She chews bitter leaves, mixing the paste with saliva, then presses it to his wound. The plant is medicinal, it stings now, but will heal later. The juvenile whimpers but relaxes as she wraps his leg with bark fiber. They huddle together as the storm rages. The smell of wet earth fills their nostrils, thunder shakes the very sky. But the storm brings another danger. Lightning strikes a dry tree in the distance. Flames snap and leap wildfire. The group looks toward the glowing horizon. Fire is racing across the plain, driven by the wind. Animals, fly zebras, antelope birds, in frantic swarms. The leader rises. They have to move. Now the tribe sprints through the mud, following the curve of the valley toward higher ground. Flames hiss at their heels. Smoke engulfs the air, choking their lungs. The juveniles stumble. The older female carries one on her back. The leader drives them forward, roaring her silent command. At last, they reach a rocky ridge where the fire cannot follow. They collapse, bodies trembling, chests heaving. Below them, the fire passes like a vast glowing serpent, but they survived. Night falls slowly, revealing stars scattered like ancient memories. The group gathers around a small, smoldering branch they carried from the fire's edge, the first ember they have ever dared to save. They don't know how to make fire yet, but they know its warmth, they know its light, they know its safety. They cluster around the ember, sharing the thin strips of meat they scavenged earlier. The juveniles eat first. The leader watches them, exhaustion etched into her bones, but a quiet pride glowing in her eyes. They survived predators, they survived rivals, they survived the fire. The storm has passed, and the savanna glistens under the starlight. Tonight, these earliest foragers rest as a single, beating heart, a tiny ember of a future species that will someday conquer the world. And together, under the dark, ancient sky, they begin again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, please like, subscribe, and join us for our next adventure.